Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in to 12 News at Noon. I'm Tracy Kennick. We're going to get straight to our weather right now. And of course, we, like everyone else around here, have our eyes set on the tropics. We go right now to Jeff Gerber in our Storm Tracker Center for an update on Tropical Storm Ida.
Yeah, still a tropical storm. Winds are at about 65 miles per hour. That was the 10 o'clock update for this morning. And the next one's going to come a little bit later on this afternoon. Here is what we call the visible satellite. This is actual photographs taken from outer space, put into a loop, and it is already starting to strengthen quite a bit, but it will be interacting with Cuba over the next 2 or 3 hours or so. And as it moves over Cuba, I'm not expecting to strengthen a whole lot, but once it gets back into the Gulf of Mexico, this thing is expected to balloon up into a Category 3, a major hurricane. Here's the track from the National Hurricane Center. Takes it over Cuba today, and then by Saturday morning out into the Gulf of Mexico as a hurricane with winds at 85 miles per hour. Then it moves up through the Gulf, and then looks like Sunday evening, Category 3 hurricane right on the southern coast there of Louisiana. And this will have winds maybe upwards of 120 miles per hour. The east side of the storm is going to get it pretty good, and we're talking about places like maybe Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Biloxi, all the way over towards Mobile. Lots of heavy rain, storm surge. We are going to be just too far on the west side of this right now on this current track to really get any effects from this storm. We'll catch some scattered showers maybe over the weekend and some breezy conditions. That's about it. You notice the storm continues to move off towards the north and east up into parts of Mississippi and Tennessee as we head into the middle part of next week. So it's not going to be drifting towards Texas, actually drifting away from Texas as we head towards the end of the week. Looks like the forecast track is going to hold true over the next couple of days. I'll show you why coming up in weather. Plus, we'll take a look at our rain chances over the weekend. Looks like we have a pretty decent chance of rain coming up tomorrow.
And remember, 12 News is your hurricane headquarters, our team working around the clock to keep you updated. And for the very latest forecast and track anytime, you can text the word hurricane to 409-838-1212. We will send you everything you need to know right to your cell phone. Well, it's been 1 year since Hurricane Laura, and recovery from the 5th strongest storm to hit the U.S. continues to this day. Our Daybreak producer Valeria De Leon takes a look back.
Hurricane Laura was the second strongest storm to make landfall in Louisiana.
Empty streets.
This is the worst storm ever come through this place.
Homes, businesses, badly damaged or washed away.
It's gone. Everything.
Tens of thousands experienced homelessness for the first time.
I was in tears when I seen what was left of our trailer, but everything I own's in the tent. This, I mean, it's like a total loss of everything.
Can't find anybody to talk to, can't find a gas station.
Devastation, difficult emotionally and physically.
Just seeing that kind of devastation to an area that you're so familiar with was very, very difficult.
Everyone had a story to tell. And as we look back 1 year later,
in one respect, it's very sad, but in another, you have to be grateful for what is still left and what we've been able to accomplish in terms of recovery over the last year.
Laura has changed how we prepare for major storms, how we thank one another,
You guys are a godsend.
how to make the most of the changes we're forced to face.
And though the quarters are cramped and there's 6 people in there, we make it work and we get to enjoy quite a lot of family time.
And it's made us a stronger community. Valeria De Leon, 12 News.
Valeria's family lost their home to Hurricane Laura. Thankfully, they eventually found a new place to call home. And meteorologist Donald Jones with the National Weather Service in Lake Charles calls this storm unique, as it was followed 6 weeks later by Delta, then the historic winter storm that mostly affected Texas but also extended to southwest Louisiana, and then a flash flood event back in May. Now, Jones wants to remind everyone this was unusual. It's not something we should expect every year, thankfully.
Of course, the possibility does exist, but everyone has been very on edge this year, and rightfully so, myself included. So I like to kind of put that into perspective that while, yes, we went through a very traumatic event, but the likelihood of having to deal with that again in the immediate future is relatively very, very low.
NOAA estimated the damage cost from Laura to be $19 billion, and they're still dealing with the damage there, as we saw for those who are fighting claims. Attorney Candace Colucci, who specializes in hurricane damage, wants you to know that you're not alone.
I mean, we've had clients, unfortunately, who come to us where the significant other has committed suicide after a hurricane because they think that they're not going to be able to recover from it financially. And I just want people to know you're not alone. Keep on fighting and do not give up. It will become overwhelming, but know that there are people out there. There are law firms out there. There are public adjusters out there. There are even contractors out there that are all here in an effort to fight for you.
Candace says the Colucci law firm and other law firms that she knows are willing to give you free advice concerning what you should know about your policy. The phone number for her is 850-542-1111 and the website myhurricanelaw.com. Now to Beaumont, where a crash left 2 people hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries. It happened around 9:30. A car left the roadway and crashed into a home in the 2600 block of St. Helena Street in Beaumont's north end off Concord. Nobody was in the home at the time of the incident. Police believe speed was a factor. The father accused of murdering his 2-year-old daughter, Savannah, with a claw hammer back in 2019 has been found guilty of the crime. Defense attorney Ryan Gertz argued Jovannes Roque suffered from mental illness during the time of the crime. But ultimately, 9 men and 3 women found Roque guilty of capital murder. Roque was sentenced to life in prison without parole. Lumberton ISD announcing yesterday it will close from August 30th until September 6th. That comes a day after County Judge Wayne McDaniel sent a notice out to districts urging or pleading with those in the district to implement a mask mandate. The district says part of the reason behind the closure is a rise in illnesses among their staff, but they did not specifically cite COVID. Officials also say they will not offer instruction during the closure because everything will be completely shut down. Well, after the uncertainty of how back to school would look this time around and seeing a big spike in COVID cases, Jasper County collaborating with others to put on a back to school COVID vaccine clinic. The collaboration including Jasper County, Jasper Newton County Public Health District, Christus Southeast Texas, Jasper Memorial Hospital, and the Jasper Hospital District. Shannon Clark, the Associate Health Nurse and Risk Manager at Christus Jasper Memorial, says they hope that this will encourage parents of students ages 12 to 17 to get vaccinated before going to school.
That, really brought this group together to try to reach out to the community. And again, like I said, maybe vaccination is not for everyone, but we wanted to make certain that it was available for those, who were seeking that service.
The clinic runs until 7 tonight at the Jasper County Annex building. Adults are eligible for the vaccine as well. Those 18 and older will receive the Moderna vaccine. After the quorum-breaking effort by our Texas House Democrats, the House advanced that contested voting rights bill late last night. After more deliberation and a few adjustments, the bill will now head to the governor's desk where he is expected to sign it into law. It would ban drive-through voting, 24-hour polling places, and sending mail-in ballot applications to people who don't request them. Republicans say it's needed for elections integrity. Democrats argue they believe it will lead to voter suppression. The Supreme Court making a final decision on eviction moratoriums. They will allow evictions to resume now. Justices blocked the Biden administration from enforcing the temporary ban on those moratoriums. The ban was put in place because of the COVID-19 pandemic, but the court said the CDC lacked the authority to continue the ban that allowed residents to avoid being evicted. We've had 3 deadly shootings here in Southeast Texas in just a little over 24 hours. The most recent in Orange, where police say a fight between 2 sisters and their mother turned deadly. That one happened at a home on Circle D Street in the Rose Lawn area. Police say at some point in a family argument, somebody shot 29-year-old Mykesha Young in the neck. She was flown to Beaumont but died at the hospital.